Hello there. Let's talk about Grand Admiral Thrawn. Now, back in 1991, I'm sure that when Timothy Zahn first introduced this incredible Star Wars character, I don't think he really quite imagined just the sheer impact that Thrawn would have on the fans. Because, bearing in mind, back in 1991, Star Wars was pretty much just finished. It wasn't really a thing anymore. I mean, as I've said in a video long ago, the original movies had long passed. The prequel films were not even a thing by that point. No, I don't think they were even considering doing prequel films by that point. So Star Wars was pretty much just sort of done and dusted. And so when Timothy Zahn brought the Thrawn trilogy to us, he brought Star Wars back to life. He essentially saved Star Wars. And he could be credited for making Star Wars popular again. But that's just my opinion. And so, well, I don't know if this really counts, but spoilers, I guess. But when Thrawn dies in Book 3 of the Thrawn trilogy, well, we all know who killed him. Rook, his bodyguard. And I must say that when Season 4 of Star Wars Rebels came along and we found out that Rook was going to make an appearance, I got worried because, oh my goodness, please, please, please do not kill off Thrawn. Because I think that when Timothy Zahn killed off Thrawn originally, I don't think he really, again, just my personal opinion, I don't think he really sort of grasped the idea at the time that he was going to be this incredible, iconic Star Wars character. And so since they basically thrown the old expanded universe out the window and started from fresh, pretty much, I'm hoping that with this new universe that they've created for themselves, they won't just kill off Thrawn, that they're going to do something really, really good with him. Because even back in the old expanded universe, it was kind of hinted that Thrawn was not necessarily dead. Yeah, I mean, there was if you've read the old expanded universe and you know the stories very well, you know what I'm talking about. But there was always these little hints, though, that it was never really confirmed, but there was always little hints and little Easter eggs here and there that Thrawn was not necessarily dead. But that pretty much is just speculation. But anyway, with this new canon, they have a chance now to do something really, really interesting with Thrawn. Because that was the only thing I didn't like about the original Thrawn trilogy, is that the fact that they killed him off. I thought, no, 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 because I think, especially when the Yuuzhan Vong invasion happened, I thought, my goodness, can you imagine what would have happened if Thrawn was around during that storyline? That would have been incredible. But anyway, I'm going off topic again. So, what does the future hold for Thrawn now? I think that since Rook has made an appearance in Season 4 of Rebels, and we know that Season 4 is going to be the last season, there is a concern that Thrawn is going to get killed off. However, I'm wondering if it's a little bit of a red herring. That maybe there'll be a situation where Rook is about to kill off Thrawn, perhaps the same sort of way that he did in the original Thrawn books, but Thrawn turns the tables on Rook and in fact stabs Rook in the back or something like that. I don't know, I think that'd be a really, really interesting twist, because it's just I mean, it's one of those things where, like, long-term fans of Star Wars know exactly what happened to Thrawn in the original book trilogy, and so if they did that little twist in Season 4 of Rebels, where Thrawn, because we see that Thrawn is a really capable fighter, we do know that. We didn't really get that much of a sense of Thrawn's hand-to-hand combat skills in the old EU. So now that we're in the new Disney canon, they have introduced the fact that he is a really, really good fighter. And so I'm just wondering if we're going to get a scene where, as I said, Rook is about to stab Thrawn in the back, and Thrawn turns the tables on him and kills Rook instead. I think if they did that, that would be amazing. because I would love to see more adventures of Thrawn. And Thrawn, I don't know if there was this initial concern that perhaps the new younger Star Wars fans wouldn't really get Thrawn, because they didn't really grow up with him, but Thrawn has proved to be a major hit even with the new Star Wars fans, so there is definitely an audience for this iconic character. But we'll just have to see what the future holds. I mean, Rebels is about nearing its mid-season point, I believe, with season 4. I'm more of a guess, I must admit, though. But Rebels is getting roughly to about the halfway point of season 4, by as of this recording, anyway. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But please, 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 do not kill off Grand Admiral Thrawn. I mean, if anything, I would love to see a movie based on this character. I mean, for crying out loud, they're releasing anthology Star Wars films up until God knows how long. They've already announced a new Star Wars trilogy and a live-action TV series. Heck, if he appeared in a live-action TV series, that'd be amazing. But, and in fact, this poses an interesting question. Let me say that again. This poses an interesting question. Who would play Grand Admiral Thrawn in a live-action adaptation? That would be really interesting. Now, my first thought was initially Jeremy Irons, but I think he's a bit too old now. I don't know if it would be a bit too obvious to say Benedict Cumberbatch, but I must say, I think Benedict Cumberbatch would make a really good Thrawn. Although, I do get the impression though that in this scenario, if we did get Benedict Cumberbatch playing this iconic Star Wars character, he would pretty much be sort of playing Sherlock Holmes just with blue face paint and glowing red eyes. But that's just my opinion. But I still think it would be interesting if he did actually play this iconic character. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.